Hello, my name is Denis Halandzovskyi. Here is what happened over Poland and why it matters for European security. During a 7-hour Russian barrage on Ukraine, multiple drones crossed into Polish airspace. Polish and Allied jets scrambled, several targets were taken down, debris recovery teams fanned out across eastern regions, and civil aviation temporarily restricted flights near the border. Warsaw triggered NATO's Article 4 for Allied consultations and requested an emergency meeting of the United Nations Security Council. Polish leaders stated clearly that this was not an accident, but a coordinated incursion synchronized with the larger strike on Ukraine. That framing fits the pattern of pressure from Moscow, mass launches, probing for gaps, and testing political cohesion. Before we go deeper, if you find this useful, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. And thank you to all of Ukraine's partners for your continued help and support. Let us fix the baseline. This was the first time in the current war that a NATO country engaged enemy drones over its own territory in a sustained way, and it did so with Allied support. Early counts varied as forensics progressed, but the signal was consistent. Allied aircraft launched quickly, command centers kept the air picture updated, and local authorities issued safety guidance about debris. Poland then moved the conversation to the diplomatic field, pairing military action with a legal record at the Security Council. That is exactly how an ally should respond. Act fast, document carefully, and coordinate openly. The goal is to remove ambiguity, deter repeat tests, and keep the lifeline through Poland to Ukraine secure. Now, what did the incident reveal about vulnerabilities, and how should we read them without exaggeration? First, detection and tracking. Small, low-flying drones can slip through radar envelopes when terrain, weather, or saturation tactics help mask their approach. That does not mean defenses failed. It means the attacker is using cheap, numerous platforms to create clutter. The fix is denser, smarter sensing with layered radars, passive sensors, and cross-border data fusion that hands-off tracks seamlessly from Ukraine to Poland and onward inside NATO networks. Second, timelines and rules of engagement. In a civilian airspace crowded with liners and regional flights, intercept windows are measured in minutes. Tightening those windows means more ready crews, more forward-based fighters, and pre-cleared cross-border coordination. Third, civil-military communication. Closing sectors of airspace and warning against debris requires crisp, local messaging. The more standardized these playbooks are, the less room there is for confusion or rumor. Finally, public narrative. Calling deliberate incursions mistakes invites more tests. A clear, consistent message that Allied airspace is defended reduces risk for everyone, including civilians on the ground. What are Poland, NATO, and the EU doing to close the gaps? Start with hard power. Air policing rotations are being reinforced, and ground-based air defense, from modern Patriots to mobile short-range systems, is being layered along the eastern flank. Counter-drone units are expanding their mix of kinetic interceptors and electronic warfare, because not every target deserves a missile. Sometimes a jammer, a gun system, or a lower-cost interceptor is the right tool. Next, the network. Real-time sharing of tracks, intent queues, and engagement zones needs to be frictionless between national commands and NATO's integrated air and missile defense. That flow must include civilian controllers and crisis managers so that flight restrictions, train operations, and local alerts align with the air picture. Then the industrial piece. Europe and North America are ramping production of interceptors and sensors while plugging the leaks that feed the enemy's drone supply chains. Sanctions enforcement against components and logistics is not a headline, but it is one of the most effective ways to shrink the attacker's toolkit over time. Finally, diplomacy. Taking the case to the Security Council pins responsibility where it belongs and builds the record for future measures. How should viewers interpret the road ahead and what to watch next? Expect a set of practical steps to follow Article 4 consultations: more aircraft forward, more mobile counter-drone batteries, broader radar and passive sensor coverage, and standardized debris recovery procedures with clear public guidance. Look for Allied statements that put dates and locations on deployments rather than vague assurances. That is how credibility is built. Watch civil aviation notices in eastern Poland and across the region, because restricting or reopening airspace tells you how authorities read the risk day by day. Track joint drills that stress test cross-border handoffs, rooftop access control in cities near the frontier, and launch to intercept timelines under realistic saturation. also follow the economic track, tightening sanctions on oil shipping, parts procurement, and financial channels that support Russia's war machine will cut the volume of drones launched in the first place. Bottom line for the region is simple. The safer Poland is, the safer the logistics corridor to Ukraine remains, and the lower the chance of dangerous spillover for neighbors. Deterrence works when it is visible, fast, and coordinated. Please subscribe and like to help more people find clear, verified updates. And thank you to all of Ukraine's partners for your steadfast support.